All right. What about the
Technomancer.
Technomancer? Let me think. So, what can I say about this game? So far I'm liking it. I'm
And
So what
it's an
is this game?
RPG.
Let's
Yes,
explain what the
correct.
game is first.
it's an RPG game that takes place on Mars, and it's kind of got aspects of, I want to say steampunk, but I not really. It's got
Yeah,
electricity based stuff in it.
cyberpunk is what I would call it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. That's the word I was looking for. Cyberpunk. Okay.
So it's
So
like Deus Ex in a sense.
yes, a bit. But so you have all this stuff where you're learning with it. The game itself, now what I can say about it, there are goods and bads about this game, definitely with everything else. Similarities. This game reminds me of a mix of Mass Effect, Dragon Age, a lot of EA games. If I'm being completely honest,
Yeah.
um, mixed all into one, and it's really good. Really good. It's got a pretty decent story. I'm not too keen on the controls, and I'm not too keen on the crafting in the game. Now you
Yeah,
do
I've
have the
heard
ability.
a lot
Go
of
ahead.
I've heard a lot of complaints about the controls, like the combat's not the
The
best.
com the combat isn't very fluid, I would
Yeah.
say.
I heard it's
Um,
very flimsy red. That's what one person described it as.
Yeah, it's kind of flimsy. It's not very fluid. Now, there's a lot they can push, like do Technomancer 2 or something, make it 10 times better. Because, in all honesty, if you looked at the first Mass Effect, the fluidity of that game wasn't great either.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, those are very
But the second one improved on that.
well. The second one was a very
second
different
one,
game.
like, dominated on the first one, man.
Well, they were very
Second
different
one's
games.
awesome.
They were going actually for very different things when you look at them side by side. But
Yeah.
anyway, so it's set on Mars, right? The setting.
Yes.
So let's talk a
Yeah.
little bit about the story. Now this company has kind of made this game a couple of times.
Yes. From what
and
I've been told.
It seems like it's hard to tell whether or not it's in the same universe or it's actually just a retelling of the same story. But so you said your storytelling was pretty good. What's the basic plot?
The basis behind it is you end up like every story, you being a protagonist, you're gifted
Okay.
at what you do. So in this one, you start out as this very gifted technomancer,
Hmm.
Zach. I think his name is Zachariah,
Okay.
and you just start to learn what your abilities are. You find out the truth about what technomancers are and what the history is behind that. And
So
it
what
turns
is a
out
I was
Technomancer?
actually about to ask, what is a technomancer exactly?
now Technomancer has the ability to use electricity. So what it is your cerebral system it just overcharges, I guess you could say, and it causes electricity to come out through your body.
Okay.
So they do stuff like that. Some of it causes force fields, others causes pulses, um, things of that nature. Now they also, some portion of it, I believe it's the rogue type aspect, allows you to use a gun and a blade with poison on it as well.
Hmm.
Oh,
But mostly a technomancer is going to be this guy wielding a staff that has electricity.
Okay.
So um, that's basically what the technomancer is, and you'll find out throughout the story a little bit that all the technomancers are trying to find out about Earth. So how they all got there, what happened, and how they might be able to get back to Earth to,
Okay.
figure that out. And that's been the basis of most of the story. Now, granted, it's kind of slow rolling, and it's kind of like most of these other games where there's so many freaking useless side quests that have
Okay.
nothing to do with the story.
Yeah.
And it's so freaking mundane and arduous and out of the way. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like side quests in a game, but I like a type of side quest where you're following the main story and you don't have to go to the entire other side of the freaking game
Yeah.
just to get the item you need for
Yeah.
that specific side quest.
They always end up being just like you said, fetch quests. Like, go here, get
Yeah.
this, bring it back to me, or something like that. I hate
Exactly.
those.
So, I mean, there is a bit of that in there, but mostly as you push through the game, you know, there is a romance ability in there where you're able to romance with male and female characters. Like I
Okay.
said, kind of like Dragon Age.
Do you get to
You kind of
choose?
get
So you said the character's name was Zachary or Zachariah.
Zachariah.
Do you get to
Um,
choose if it's a man or a woman?
You do not.
Okay.
You do not. You start out with this, and then there's three love interests in there, two females and one male.
Okay.
And you don't really get. There's more characters there, but those are the only love interests that I've heard about.
Yep.
In the game. But it seems like it could be better than it is, considering when it's come out.
Yeah.
But
Seems a little behind the times, a little bit maybe.
But it's not a bad game. This, like I said, the story has a good premise. The map could be larger. It's not open world. It's kind of a section to section type thing.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to
Kinda
ask
li-
about that.
Kind of like Dragon Age Origins. Kind of like again, I
Okay.
keep coming back to this Dragon Age resemblance.
So like kind of like big areas that you can explore, but the whole world is in one big connected area. You have to kind of like load in
Exactly.
between them. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what they did with Inquisition too.
And I mean, it's not bad. Don't get me wrong. The maps are kind of small. There's
Okay.
a good level of detail in the game. I think it could be better, but it could definitely be worse. What
Cool.
else can I say about this game? I mean, I
Um,
would
is
I would
it?
suggest it,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would definitely. I wouldn't say it's a $60 game. I would say it's probably about a $40 or $50 game, but
I
not a
think
$60
that's
game.
what. Is it $60 on console?
Yes, it is 60 on console. It was on sale on Steam within the first few days, but I'm not positive if it is now.
Yeah, it's
Um,
$60 on console. I know it was on sale on Steam, but it was only like a 10% discount. I think the regular price was 40.
I
Really?
don't know when I bought it. Yeah, but it's definitely a game I would suggest. Hey, if you're into that cyberpunk type thing, try it out. It's a kind of a quick game. It can be long if you do all the side quests, but if you kind of push through it, it's a pretty quick game. It's pretty decently portrayed. Story's pretty good. You got your hero. You can't really swap around. You have the ability to switch between 3 different specs,
Yep.
but you can't really put too much skills into those separate classes, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And that's kind of frustrating, but you can swap like and use a shield and a club or something, and then 2 seconds later be using a gun and that dagger, like I said, and then another second later having that long staff with you. I mean, you're able to swap between them pretty easily. It's just whether or not they're effective. So
Okay.
that was one aspect I liked. I wish it was more effective, that you could put so much into all of them, but the ability to swap quickly to whatever you need depending the situation was something I think was really well done on their part.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
One thing that I read with some complaints are, I don't know how far you've gotten into it, but I guess the difficulty is a little skewed. Like somebody was complaining
is.
about being killed by just like random, like should be low level dudes, like way early into the game. I mean, way late into the game. Have you noticed anything like that?
I noticed that in the beginning of the game. So what I did when I started it, I usually I started off at very hard, just because I like a challenge. But I was like, all right, this isn't like most of the other games out there. So I started off at normal, thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, this is way too easy. And I only played probably 20 minutes into the game. So I pushed up the difficulty level all the way up. And I'm telling you, I'm not having a problem at all.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like it seems to be an issue. It could be some bad RNG that's causing that. It could be difficulty of what they have. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Could be the way they have their stuff spec'd out, the way
Sure.
their class is built. You know, some things are built to give you more defense, and some of the other things will actually take away from what you have. So that's that. It could totally be on that. There's
Okay,
not
I was,
very
I was
many.
just wondering.
There's not very many options for gearing your character properly. I think that is a big fault the game has. Like
Okay.
it looks like it's mostly based to be a warrior.
Okay.
A warrior spec, and then there's like nothing else that you can pick up. I was constantly picking up warrior spec stuff and rarely picking up what I needed for the rogue spec.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah, it is $60 on console and $44.99 on Steam.
I would suggest getting it on Steam. If
Mostly
you can.
positive reviews.
Yeah,
On Steam. So
I would suggest.
How
it.
was the performance on PlayStation 4? Because that's where you played it, right?
I was not having any issues, like other than the whole, like I said, the fluidity of movement of your attacks.
Okay.
Other than that, it was pretty solid.
All right. Cool.
Easy going.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Yeah, I'll have to check this out. Maybe pick it up on a sale or something like that.
Yes,
I'd suggest it.
I'm going to say likewise. I mean, I do like cyberpunks and I do like RPGs that are sci-fi related. So, again, I'll have to give it a go.
Cool.
I'd suggest PC versus console, simply because people are probably going to make some type of mod to it to make it a little bit better than it is.
Yes,
Yeah, there's
right. But
always that
unfortunately,
possibility.
I do not have a PC like everyone else. So,
You might want to fix that there, Si.
Yeah. Get on that train.